Start by installing the Purchase Order app from the Apps tab. In the wizard, check out the form. You can begin with the PO number. This is an auto-generated sequence number that you can set up however you'd like. Purchase orders are generally linked to purchase requests. You can key it in manually here, or if you use Kissflow for your purchase requests, this is a great time to use the lookup field to get data from that app. You can keep fields like requester's name and department as they are, or you can set them to auto-populate with system formulas. Similarly, for all the vendor information, you can enter the information manually, or you can link all of your vendor information through a master so that it all shows automatically after choosing an approved vendor. Item descriptions can also be linked to masters and lists. All of the information you put into the table will be automatically calculated and produced in this field. Then you can add any necessary taxes or other fees. In the workflow, you can set as many approval steps as you need. This one will automatically send an approval request to the initiator's manager if you click this button. You can also set up some tasks to occur only if the total amount in the PO is over a certain amount. In the Permissions tab, you can control what information is seen in each task, so you can hide some data or set it to be read-only so it can't be changed. When you're ready to publish your app, remember to give it a good subject. Here, the PO number or the vendor name may be a good idea. That's how to set up the Purchase Order app in Kissflow. The Employee Onboarding app is one of Kissflow's most popular apps. Start by installing it from the Apps tab. You can customize everything about this app to fit your requirements. For example, if you want to add a place in the form for a photo, you can add a new attachment field here. These user fields allow you to assign future tasks in the workflow dynamically to different people. You can take advantage of system formulas to automatically display data. For example, if you put in this system formula, the department head will auto-populate. All the fields in this form will allow a new hire to enter information like phone number and emergency contact details only one time, rather than having to fill it out for every department. Next, set the workflow. Here you can list out all the tasks that need to be completed as a part of onboarding. Add new steps by clicking on the plus sign in the workflow. Parallel branches allow you to have multiple tasks completed at the same time without having to wait for others to be completed. In the Change Permissions tab, you can decide who gets to see what information by making some fields read-only or hidden. Finally, you can make the app live in the Publish tab. Here you can write a subject line to easily distinguish between different items in this app. In my case, I'll call it Employee Onboarding for Employee Name. This will help you search through items easily. That's how to set up the Employee Onboarding app in Kissflow. To use the Sales Order app, start by installing it from the Apps tab. Each sales order item should get an individual number along with it. This field is already set up as a sequence number. In these fields, you can enter the customer data. Rather than entering the data every time, you can link this to a master sheet that has a list of all of your customers. Some fields, like the internal person who submitted this order, can be grabbed automatically using system formulas. You can also link all of your product descriptions and prices to a separate master where you keep all of your product information. This will allow fields to auto-populate for you to ensure accuracy. The total amount and total price fields will automatically be calculated. You can connect these address fields to your master data as well for an automatic upload. In the workflow, you can set as many approval steps as you need. You can assign this first step to the manager of the person who initiated the item by clicking this button. You can also set up another task to only occur if the total sales order is over a certain amount. In the Permissions tab, you can control what information is seen in each task, so you can hide some data or set it to be read-only so it can't be changed. When you are ready to publish your app, remember to give it a good subject. Here, we'll use that order number we started out with and the account name. That's how to set up the sales order app in Kissflow. The vendor payment app is a great way to streamline your payments to regular vendors. Start by installing it from the Apps tab. In the Forms section, you can edit any of the existing fields or add any new fields from the left menu. The vendor payment app is a great time to use master data. A master field will refer to a separate spreadsheet to recall data. Here I have a master called Approved Vendor List that I want to choose from. This is what the master looks like. The master field will ask which column you want to display, and what other columns will also show. You can then use this master field to auto-populate other data in the form. For example, here's what a live form can look like. I call up the vendor name, and the contact and address automatically show. Users can save a form as a template if the vendor bills regularly. For the vendor payment workflow, you want to make sure the purchaser signs off that the goods were actually received, and that you also get approval from any managers before processing. You can create conditional steps as well to get the finance head sign off if the invoice is over a certain amount. Next, you can set up your permissions to make certain sections editable, read-only, or hidden. Finally, before you publish the app, give it a good subject. This is how you distinguish between items that are going through your app. You'll likely want to use the vendor name as a part of it. I'll use this field account name rather than the vendor name to avoid displaying an index number that is associated with that master field. That's how you set up the vendor payment app in Kissflow. You can use the Discount Approval app when your sales team needs a quick way to approve discounts for large sales. Start by installing it from the Apps tab. Once installed, you can edit the form to change any of the fields listed. You can link customer data to master fields to help auto-populate data. Add options for drop-downs. And make certain fields required. In the workflow, you can dynamically assign tasks to the initiator's manager. You can also bring in the department head if the discount is above a certain amount. In the permissions, you might not want to distract the department head with some fields like contact details. These can be hidden for that step. You can also set certain fields to read only. Finally, I'll publish the app and give it a unique subject name to tell it apart from other similar apps. I'll call this one Discount for Account on Created At, so that it's easy to find. That's how you set up the Sales Discount Approval app in Kissflow. Here's an in-depth look at the curriculum approval process. A faculty member starts with a form to enter the type of course, justification for the course, and specifics about the new curriculum. Depending on the type of request, different fields will display. You can link the form to your existing course catalog. You can make quick changes to the form if you need to. For example, you may want to change the justification field from a single choice dropdown to a multiple choice checkbox. When looking at the workflow, after the faculty member submits the form, it goes through a series of approvals from the department chair, dean, academic affairs, and provost. These roles can be assigned automatically depending on the department that the initiator belongs to. You can also make these tasks conditional so that it only takes place in certain situations. For example, I only want the provost involved if it is a new course. Users can track the progress of any item they initiated from the dashboard. App administrators can see all the items for an app in the Reports tab. From there, they can reassign, delete, and edit data in forms. Each app also comes with built-in analytics to help you know how your app is performing. That's how to install and configure the Curriculum Approval app in Kissflow Solutions for Universities.